Okay, so it's been a while, and as you can see, it's in a different background. I'm currently in the middle of moving, so hence the slow uploads. But we gotta talk about some of the new leaders that just dropped for OP-08. That's right, it's OP-08 reveal season already. Now, I usually wait till all of the leaders are revealed before I make a video talking about all of the leaders, but this time I'm gonna split into two because there's one particular leader that I really want to talk about. No surprise, it's Marco the Phoenix. We gotta talk about Marco the Phoenix. But there's been 3 reveals so far for OP-08. So we got Chopper, we got Carrot, and then recently today we got Marco the Phoenix. And yeah, I want to really talk about Marco the Phoenix because there's a lot of crazy things you can do with it. So let's just talk about these 3 leaders first. Once the next 3 comes out, we'll make a part 2 OP-08 video. So without further ado, let's start with the first one, which is my boy Chopper. Alright, so first of all, it's a red green Tony Chopper. Pre-timeskip Chopper, mind you. Yes, you know I love the pre-timeskip Chopper hat. So it's red green, 5000 power with 4 life, has the animal subtrait, Drum Kingdom and Straw Hat Crew. So activate main once per turn, put up to 1 Rested Dawn each on up to 3 of your animal or Drum Kingdom type characters. So this is pretty interesting for a leader like this. It's essentially trying to go wide a little bit, but you can give like 1 Rested Dawns to the animal. So like for example, you have 3 animal characters and you play like a 4 cost character or something. You can use you can put a Rested Dawn each onto the 3 characters that are already on the field and then attack with it, something like that. So from a first impression standpoint, power level wise, I don't think this is that powerful. Of course, we haven't seen a lot of the animal kingdom, or sorry, we haven't seen a lot of animal support just yet. We have a few here and there from EB-01, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and a little bit from Drum Kingdom, so I'm expecting to see more in OP-08 itself, so that we can have a variety of how to play Chopper. But for the time being, it's okay. I mean, I'm expecting the alternate art to be like really great. So that's like a day 1 purchase for me, but from an ability standpoint, not that fantastic. I'm sorry, Chopper. Now, funny enough as well, it was rumored that Chopper was supposed to be red black, but now it's red green. So anything that you see like leaked wise, just take it with a grain of salt. The characters might be the same, colors might be different. So, but now let's talk about some of the cards that go into this deck. First of all, the standout card EB-01, it just shut up and come with us. There's the 1 cost event counter that lets you search the top 5 cards of your deck, and then you play an animal type character card with a cost 3 or less, and then put the rest at the bottom. So you can play one for free. So you can play a 3 cost character for essentially 1 cost on your opponent's side of the opponent's turn. And if you're playing Chopper as your leader, and it's like pure animal deck, and you can kind of load it up with like 4 copies of this and just spam out the number of characters. And what's 3 cost is of course the super rare Chopper, the cute one right here. It's not only a blocker, but you can give something minus 3000 if you put down 2 and attack with this. Not the greatest card out there, but the cutest card out there for sure. There's a few other animal type stuff as well. For example, if you take a look at like I believe it's OP-04, there's quite a few like this Chopper right here. So 3 cost, 4000 power, and it's animal, so you can play this out with the 1 cost event card we talked about. And on play, you can play out 1 animal type character card with 3000 power less from your hand. So essentially, you can spam characters. You can use the 1 cost, play this on your opponent's side, on your opponent's turn, and then play out something that has 3000 power or less, and then you put the Rested Dawns on it and just attack. It's a little bit like the true form of Zoo, the animal Zoo essentially. But is it as good as like Zoro Zoo? I don't know, because Zoro just does it like so much better, right? Because only 1 Dawn and everything that's plus 1k. I'm trying to see more cards in the animal subtrait, but there's not a lot. I mean, you do have Karoo. We got to bring back the Karoo Tribal. This is not a good card, by the way, but you have like 2k counters. That's animal trait, Alabasta, and then like Kung Fu Jugon, which is also not a great card. So yeah, we don't have a lot of great animal cards, especially not in outside of this Chopper right here, which I think is really good. Green doesn't really have that much as well. There is one, this guy, Mountain God, yeah. So you could potentially put this vanilla in the deck. That's just not a lot. Okay, this Chopper from OP-01, also not as good. So there's a lot. There's a lot that Chopper needs to make the deck work a little bit. I'm trying to cycle through and see if there's other green. I mean, come on. This is an animal. Moo tribal. Let's go. Uh, Technically, you can play it. I don't know. So yeah, there's still much more to be seen with this Chopper leader right now. There's just not a lot going for it. So expect a little bit of support in OP-08, but I'm thinking like this is just for like the cute alternate art leader factor. It's great that Chopper has a leader, and it's red green and it's the pre-timescape, so it has the hat. Either way, can't wait for the alternate art, but not a powerful one. Then we'll go into the next one, which is a carrot. This is a green carrot leader, so 5,000 power with 5 life, and has the Mings sub trait. So activate main once per turn. If you have a character with the Mings type in play, rest up to one of your opponents, cost 5 or less characters. So 5 specifically, 5 or less, does kind of matter in this current metagame because you have a lot of 5 cost characters. Bonnie essentially has like a lot of 5 cost characters, and essentially most of the cards in the super rare, the mid-range slot is 5 cost, so you could potentially attack into it, invest it, attack into that character. I guess it kind of plays a little bit like Perona. You do need to have like a Ming type in play, but though Perona can just rest just like that at 4 costs, I believe. And so I'm not sure. So far, we haven't seen the full potential of Carrot just yet. I know there are some Mings, like Ming type characters in the One Piece card game so far, but we need to see more. We need to see more from OP-08, and if you can combine it with some other strong effects, this could be a good leader. And I'm sure there are some Carrot fans out there. I'm not a Carrot fan, unfortunately, but yeah, maybe something that can KO, something that's 5 or less, like rested. I mean, yeah, there is a green Doflamingo card that can do that, but you need the Mings. You need the Mings. So we probably will get a couple of strong Mings. But now let's take a look at the Mings card that are keep Ming cards. So now let's just take a look at the Ming cards that are currently available. So there's not a lot, especially in like green, pure green. We do have this carrot, by the way, like a 2k counter. So I'm expecting a Ming searcher to come out eventually. Whether or not you want to play this out, it's a different matter altogether. And this Inarashi did see a little play, just not a lot. So yeah, there's not a lot of Ming support. We got a lot of Beppos though, so that's great. I think Nekomamushi has not been seeing a lot of play, like it has been outclassed. So right now it's kind of due for an upgrade. So all of the Mings, like we're in due for an upgrade. We got like Beppo, which is not really that good anymore. So yeah, we do need to see a little bit more Ming support, especially in OP-08. So if you are a Mings fan, if you're a Carrot fan, yeah, you can start planning for it, I guess. To me, it's a really decent effect. It's not as strong as some of the others. I think like I would value having like a Perona like effect instead of this carrot like effect. But yeah, I mean, that's nothing much I can say. We gotta wait and see for more Mings. That's it. And now the reason why I'm actually making this video a little bit earlier in the first place is because I want to talk about Marco, man. So it's Marco the Phoenix is back. It's a red-blue leader. Finally, another red-blue leader outside of VV. 4 life, 5,000 power. Part of the Whitebeard Pirates, of course. And the ability is simple. Don 1 means having 1 Don attached to Marco. Activate main once per turn. Draw 1 card. Then place 1 card from your hand on the top or bottom of your deck. Sounds familiar? That's because it's almost like Sakazuki. It's almost like. Then give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power for this turn. This card, this leader is pretty damn good. I wouldn't call it like insanely broken. It's not like insane like to the level of like Sakazuki. I do think like Sakazuki is definitely a way better leader, but this is a really good leader. This is like immediate or still like a tier 1 leader. I want to quote Academy Eyeball right here, who said that if you didn't add any new cards right now, this would still be a tier 1 deck. And I 100% agree with his statement. Right now in Japan, specifically in Japan, like there's a lot of VV lists that's been making waves in the current metagame. Because this current metagame, like Assumption, like there's no like Sakazuki, deals with threats a little bit differently. And the new VV build does really well. Like you have the top end to remove with Shanks, you have Red Rock, and then like, just a little bit controlly, and then you got your big stuff to kind of clear the game for you. Marco does that, but way better because now your Marco can attack and you can give something minus 2000. So it's a little bit like a control Marco. And I will go over the cards that go really well in this deck because there's a lot essentially. But let's just talk about the effect for a little bit. Let's just freak out about the effect a little bit. The reason why I say Sakazuki is better because you get to discard the card that before drawing, and you are utilizing your trash that way. So like you discard a Rob Lucci, you get the Hina Lucci, Rebecca Hina Lucci combo. Essentially, it's an extension of your hand. With Marco, it's a little bit different, but there are some cards that benefit so much from this, and we'll talk about it in a little bit. But being able to kind of cycle through and loot, so you draw one and then you place one at the bottom just to kind of get rid of the card that you don't need, it's still a really powerful ability. If it was just that, it's still really powerful. And then giving something minus 2000 power for this turn, like red, purple, Uta, but better because you don't have to discard a card from your hand and you're not ramping. Essentially, you can take your time and control the board. This way, your opponent's character that has already attacked you, you can give something minus 2k and then attack into that character pretty easily. You don't have to use like an Otama, you don't have to use any power reduction cards because you have one inbuilt with your leader. Now, power reduction cards and removal in red, not really that great as of late because it's not as efficient as some of the other removal out there, but you got access to blue. You have access to blue, so you can kind of mix it up a little bit. It's time for Jet Pistol to come back into the meta game. It's time for what's that? It's time for Fire Fist, old and new Fire Fist to come back into the meta game. Kind of get rid of some of the stuff out there, and then the bigger threat you can just Red Rocket. Just really, really good. So now let's talk about some of the cards that work really well with Marco the Phoenix, by the way, because it's the ability to put something on top of the deck that I want to talk about. Because guess which card works really well with that kind of ability? Putting something at the top of your deck, and then you play a Sanji, and then you reveal the top of your deck, and then you play up to one character with a cost of 9 or less other than Sanji, and then place the rest at the bottom of your deck. You know what's cost 9 in red? Our good old friend, Edward Newgate. Whitebeard is back, baby. Can you imagine? Just on one turn, you put a Dawn onto Marco the Phoenix. You give something minus 2k. You get to draw, and then you put Edward Newgate on top of the deck. You play out a Sanji. Sanji reveals Edward Newgate. You have a Sanji 9 cost 9,000 and an Edward Newgate 9 cost 10,000. Your leader gets plus 2k. You're swinging in for 8,000 because you have a Dawn attached to Marco the Phoenix. Kind of insane. Of course, you wouldn't have any Dawns left over to kind of protect Marco the Phoenix, so you got to pay attention to that. Usually when you play with Edwin, you do have some things to counter out of, like your Radical Beams and whatnot, but it's still a really strong combo wombo, if you ask me. Like Sanji and any red base cards that are 9 cost or below can potentially just be at the top. You don't have to limit yourself to Edward Newgate. You can play Ace. You can Sanji into Ace and then give something minus 2 characters or minus 3k, or you can just attack with Ace. It's pretty good as well. And you have Dawn's left over that you can keep up for like Radical Beams or like your guard points or whatever. Pretty good. I'm just saying, this is really, really good. And speaking of which, we can bring back the removal from OP-02. So if there's any Ace players in there, like, hey, Seaquake, 1 cost, you can reduce power with Marco the Phoenix leader. You can combine it with Otama, and then you can Seaquake. Are we bringing back like the Whitebeard stuff for control? You can even play this and then bring back the other Marco the Phoenix, the blocker, and the 5 cost from OP-03. Speaking of which, let's just jump into OP-03 and then just see how absurd the cards work together, because it's really, really good. I don't think you can play this because your leader is podcast is Ace, but you have Fire Fist. You know, you can trash an event card from your hand. You can KO 2 things for 5,000 power less, 4,000 power less. You can combine it with Marco the Phoenix's ability. That's a lot. Okay, not Fiery Doll. And there's the new Fire Fist as well. So it's really good. And this guy comes back. This guy can come back. And you know how annoying this Marco the Phoenix was in the OP-02, OP-03 kind of meta game before Whitebeard kind of just got a little bit locked. Yo, this is gonna be insane, man. Yeah, I think Marco the Phoenix is like super strong, like really, really strong. it's just one of the leaders that when you take a look, it's like, yeah, you know it's going to be meta defining. It's on par with some of the stuff out there. I don't know how it's going to do overall in a meta game, because like I mentioned before, like cost reduction stuff and removal, not that great, but because you have access to blue, and I'm pretty sure blue will have some very good removals in the future as well. You can Sanji into Borsalino if you want to. So there is a build here without adding any new cut. There is a build. There is a deck for Marco already. I can imagine it in my head. Just 9-cost Whitebeard. It's just full on control until you drop down your 9-cost Whitebeards or your 10-cost Shanks, and then just go crazy. I really like this leader, by the way. He's not Sakazuki. I think Sakazuki is still a little bit more efficient and better as a leader, but this is a fun leader. It's a great leader, and it's blue and red, so it's gonna be really powerful. And there may be more Whitebeard support. As you all know, OP-08 is the 2 legends, and you can see the artwork that's been revealed. There's Whitebeard sitting right there, front and center. Let's go. And usually when it's like this, it's this is Akira Igawa, by the way. She drew really so well. It's probably a super rare, or I don't know, maybe it could be a rare, but yeah, we know the head, and it does say featuring the Whitebeard Pirate, so we do have more Whitebeard Pirates cards. We already have them in red, so maybe we have some in blue. I don't know, but yeah, 2 more months, exactly 2 more months from the recording of this video, that we're gonna get OP-08. So get ready for it. It's gonna be insane. So let me know what you think about the 3 leaders. I think Chopper, not as good. Could be a collectible card for a leader wise. Carrot, we need to see more Minks to see whether it's worth even playing for Carrot. But as it stands, it's like decent. And then Marco the Phoenix is the meta defining leader. So we still got 3 more leaders. We have kind of a leaked of what they could be. We don't know the full extent. Things might change, as evident by Chopper's color, red green. It was rumored to be red black, and now it's changed to red green. So there you go. Let me know what you think. I want to know your thoughts about Marco the Phoenix, because it's worthy enough to talk about in a video. That's it for me for today. I won't have much videos that I'll be uploading within the next couple of weeks. Just as soon as I settle the move, then things will go back to normal. I do have some in the backlog that I want to talk about, and I'll post them periodically and slowly. So thank you guys so much for all your support. I'll see you guys in the next one.